Okay, I'm going to start my how-to speech out with a question. How many of y'all use Pinterest on a daily basis? Okay, so using Pinterest, you know that there's millions of ideas on there, from crafts to food, and all kinds of things like that. So today I'm going to show you one of my favorite projects that I've ever done that I got off of Pinterest, and it is called a melted crayon art. And it's going to look like this when we are finished. So we'll start by going over the materials that you'll need, and then a step-by-step process of how to create the melted crayon art, and then we'll go over some ways how to make it unique and stand out. So let's get started with this fun and crafty project. Okay, so the materials are pretty simple for this project. You're going to need crayons, obviously, and then you're going to need a hot glue gun. You'll need a hair dryer, and then you'll need a canvas like this one. And then for my unique touch that I did, I wrote a word with paint and a paintbrush, but this is optional. So most of the items can be found at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I prefer to go to Hobby Lobby just because they have a wider range of options for different products, and they're a little bit more cost effective. So, and then overall the project's not too expensive in general as well. Crayons aren't very expensive, and everything else that goes into it isn't too much. So, so now that we know about the materials, let's go ahead and walk through the step-by-step process of how to make the crayon art. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pick your design. So you can do, you can do like a straight across, or I've seen like stars or hearts. There's just a lot of different ways that you can put it together. And so once you have that, you're going to want to figure out what color scheme you want to do. You can do all the crayons like mixed together, or off of this one again, you can see how it like fades from red to yellow to green, kind of like has a pattern to it. And then after you figure out the design that you want to do, the shape that you want them to be in, and the arrangement of the colors, then you're going to go through and hot glue each one of them. And then as you're doing it, you want to make sure that you have them close enough to when they melt, there won't be gaps between them. That's really important. And so after you glue them, you're going to start to blow dry them, but that part gets pretty messy and kind of splatters, so I would recommend doing that outside. So you'll go through and blow dry it, and as you're blow drying it, you can make it fade further, or it can be like shorter. So if you're going to make it fade further down, you'll just take the blow dryer and kind of like make it to where it like pushes it and makes it melt further down the canvas. So then after you melt the crayons, some of them will probably fall off because they're going to get really hot and the glue's going to detach, so you'll want to go back and re-glue those back onto the canvas and give it about 15 minutes or so for it to dry. Okay, and then the next thing that you're going to want to do, after it's dry, you can leave it like that and it can be finished. But then I wanted to talk about adding like a unique touch to it. So on mine, I wrote Sevio, which means bright in Italian. And then there's a lot of different, you could write a word or a saying or anything like that. With something like this, it's very easy to write about like being bright or colorful or happy and things like that. So adding a unique touch is always nice because it's going to make it mean more to you and differentiate it. So all together through this demonstration, I hope that you got a clear understanding of the materials that are needed and the process that is involved in making a melted crayon art. So in conclusion, just to wrap up, these are the few items that you need, and again, you can pick them up at Hobby Lobby or at Walmart, and it's very cost effective and a very easy craft project to do. And then the process is pretty simple, so for it to be a simple process and being able to make it unique is also a nice touch. So it doesn't take too much effort, but you can still get a really good customization out of it. And you have a lot of freedom to customize. So with that being said, I hope that this how-to project was very beneficial for you, and that maybe you'll try it one day, and with the creativity, maybe it as well will end up all over Pinterest. Are there any questions?
How did you get the idea?
The first time I ever saw it was with a girl that I lived with freshman year, and then I just looked it up on the internet on how to do it.
What was the hardest part?
Melting them, because it's so messy, and when I learned the hard way the first time I did it, and I was in my bedroom, and so then we had to get a towel really fast, and it was just a complete mess.
How many have you made?
I've made about 4 or 5 different ones of these.
Have you ever done it on anything that's not a canvas?
No, I haven't. I don't know if you actually could. I don't know what you could glue them to, but maybe like a board or something, but I've never done anything besides canvas.
How long did it take you?
Altogether, it probably took about an hour and a half, because it takes about 45 minutes to melt the, or not, probably about 30 minutes to melt the crowns, because you have to get them at the right temperature before they start melting.
Do you melt from the middle or like the top of the canvas?
I started on the top left and went to the right for this one, just so I could get them to fade together correctly.
Does it burn the paper?
The paper? The canvas?
No,
Or on the crown? They do get, if you like melt it too much, they'll just turn into the paper, because all the wax from the crayons will run out, so you have to be careful that you don't do that as well. Okay, thank you for listening.